Hello and welcome to Rada Publishing House. I'm your host, Rada Nelia, and today we have a very special guest, bestselling author Michelle Woodruff, who is featured in Awakening Starseeds Volume 3, Dreaming into the Future. Michelle is an energy healer, a practitioner, a teacher, a podcaster, and a bestselling author. And she's also the new owner of Myofascial STL Plus, a new and complementary health services. Welcome, Michelle.
Welcome. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so nervous.
I'm so excited too. We were just talking earlier, and Michelle has so much going on, so many cool things going on. Could you just tell us a little bit more about the work you do and what you're up to?
Yeah. For the last, I want to say about 7 months, I've been working on manifesting a treatment center. I'm retired from traditional healthcare after 30 years. And all during that time, I always used alternative approaches. I like to use, well, now I've switched over to the word complementary because I don't like people to let go of traditional care because it still has some strong points. And so in that whole process, I was told to put a lot of things on hold, my podcasting, my teaching, my classes. And then lo and behold, the center literally fell into my lap. So I have been working on getting that up and running. It'll be open on August 1st. And I'm really excited because Starseeds is out, volume 3. So it's all coming together at the same time. A lot of people have been contacting me to present at conferences and retreats, and I'm super excited.
Wow, I just think that's amazing and so needed, and exactly what we're talking about. Dreaming into the future. Like, what are we bringing forward? What are we dreaming into? You dreamed of this center,
Yes.
and then you didn't just dream about it, and like so many of the other authors, you manifested it.
Yes. And through completely unconventional means. So I don't want anyone to ever think they can't do something and use the word but, or one of my favorite sayings that people always come to me with, well, here's the deal. I'm like, there is no deal. You make your future. There's no deal, there's no buts, and there's no try. Yeah. Don't try something, experience something. Don't try it, because if you try it, then you're not really putting your essence into it. So
true. I love that. And so let's talk about the dreaming into manifesting, because that's what you just did.
Yes.
You dreamt into this manifestation, and you did it very unconventionally. Can you walk us through your process of dreaming?
Sure. So I'm really highly connected with a lot of higher energetic guides. And for years, I have fought against that connection because culturally, I was told that that wasn't normal. And so what I did starting last year is I started letting go of those cultural beliefs and not worrying about what everyone was thinking, and feeling into who I am and where I wanted to be. And the more I felt who I am and who I wanted to be, the more it changed everything around me. And to my surprise, I thought that people would look at me as if I was mental or really whacked out. But to my surprise, people are more curious. They're like, how does that work for you? And how can something like that work for me? So what I'm finding is, by me being more into my light and dreaming into my dreams forward, I'm inspiring those around me to take those steps they need to heal, to dream into their light and move forward. And it's been a wonderful journey. A lot of my journey is movement based. That happened because a lot of my friends meditate and they sit there quietly and they do their ohms, or they do their Om Shakti ohms and stuff, but that's not my experience. I have done that, but that's not where my soul feeds. My soul feeds through movement. And I recognize that there's a large population out there that is the same way.
Yeah.
And if people don't believe that, look at how many dance TikToks are out there right now,
It's so
right?
true. Yes.
Yes, yeah. I mean, we are innately move, and we have that healing energy inside of us. And by raising that energy, which is what I do when I do the Seiki tapping healing through movement,
Mhm.
then you are raising your healing energy, and then you're able to direct it to move yourself forward.
Beautiful. I absolutely love that. And that's what your chapter is all about, right? It's
Yes.
with movement. So could you
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about your chapter and your philosophy behind this?
Yeah, Seiki tapping was something that kind of came to me in layers or in processes, which is what a lot of us experience in our lifetime. Um, I am a former dancer, so I have that somatic background in Feldenkrais and Alexander. I was a modern dancer, but I
Mhm.
never fit into that mold because I went to Webster University, and most of my colleagues are all professional dancers. They're retired now, but they went on to perform. But I knew I was there to teach, but I didn't know what. I
Mhm.
didn't know what I was there to teach. And so through my process, I found out I'm there to teach people how to connect with their healing. It's called the Seiki energy, and
Mhm.
it is that natural energy that lies within every individual that is raised for healing, but it's raised quite vigorously. It's not a subtle energy. It's more what you would see in indigenous populations when they're trance dancing, or more what you would see when people are just spontaneously moving.
Mhm.
So it can have a lot of verbalizations or clapping or jumping, or it could just be simply moving your hands like this. It depends on that person. And so the Seiki tapping, healing through movement, is a process that I teach people to connect with their natural Seiki energy. And some people don't understand what Seiki is until I compare it to Reiki. So
Okay.
okay, so Reiki is not, or Reiki is subtle energy.
Mhm.
Everyone's familiar with Reiki. Seiki is non-subtle energy. It is just an opposite expression of the same energy inside of us. But some of us have to come from the more dynamic side. Some of
Mhm.
us need to come from the movement side of it, because it just feels good to move.
Mhm.
So that's what the Seiki tapping does, the healing through movement.
Wow.
The tapping part comes from EFT tapping,
Mhm.
because I start with EFT tapping and helping everyone remove any belief system they might have regarding their own movement. So
Yeah.
so it opens up their system,
Mhm.
tapping, first getting rid of the belief that you have to look or move a certain way.
Mhm.
So we address the mental component first.
Mhm.
The second phase of it was given to me through meditation, and it is, and I am not familiar with a lot of shamanistic practices, but as I describe it to people who are, they're like, well, that sounds shamanistic in nature. So
Mhm.
it's a movement related vocalization, alignment of the chakras.
Wow.
So yeah, so we have a na te kundale e mat sha te et ma ta shi se. And so we go through this verbalization with the movement, and that helps open people up to the less subtle work, because you're saying these words while you're making these movements,
Mhm.
and then that opens their energy system up. And so once the energy system is opened up in the Seiki tapping, then we assume the access position for the Seiki to actually move up. And I usually put music on for that. So
Mhm.
anywhere from indigenous drumming to rock and roll.
Oh, I wish I could take your class. That sounds like so much fun. I'll have to come out there.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun.
Will
Yeah.
you be
So,
teaching that at your new center?
yes, I will be. So I will be offering classes and also individual sessions in the Seiki tapping healing through movement. And I'm actually preparing to trademark it soon. So
Yay, that's so
yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
And where are you located again so people can know?
It's in St. Louis, Missouri. So right in the heart of the United States.
Incredible. Maybe you'll be doing like, weekend retreats or something. And people can
Yes,
come there and learn how to do it, or maybe even learn how to teach it.
exactly. Yes, I would love to teach people how to pass this tradition on to other people. So yeah, yeah.
Beautiful. And what and so do you have many modalities under your belt? What are some of the
Yes.
modalities you use personally?
Yeah, well, so personally, I have a lot of the somatic modalities, and so for people who aren't familiar with somatic, a lot of people use the term body mind approaches.
Mhm.
So being trained in the movement approaches of Alexander and Feldenkrais was one, but also I have being a PTA for 30 years. I was trained in manual therapies of myofascial release. That would be the John Barnes myofascial release, Bledger's craniosacral therapy, um, the EFT tapping, trained in that, also the lymphatic drainage.
Mm.
So the really cool part about where I'm at now is that I have the traditional background. It's not just in those therapies, but a largely neurological background. And
Mhm.
I also have the complementary background.
Mm.
So I end up with a lot of patients or clients, and more recently, physicians who are a little bit frustrated by the limitations of their healthcare system, especially in the COVID crisis,
Mhm.
because with long-term, long-haul COVID, and a lot of these things, they really don't know what to do, and they really want to help their clients.
Mm.
So since once they exhaust their bag of tricks, I say, then
Mhm.
they send them to me. And then we start looking at the spiritual, mental, physical, and or physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies, and seeing where those blockages are in order to start raising and teaching a person how to tap into their own healing. Because every single one of us, I'm 100% recovered from a spinal cord injury. I was completely paralyzed from the waist down, bowel,
Really?
bladder, and everything.
Wow.
So there is absolutely no residual. Now, it took me 20 years through that process because it was a while back and the energy was a lot slower back then.
Mhm.
But the energy now is much faster. So I'm able to share those things that I've learned along my process to help people tap into what they need to know to heal their bodies, because we all have it. It's an innate ability to heal, but we just, as humans, have gotten so far away to listening to our bodies
Mhm.
that we don't know what it's telling us.
Mhm.
So I help people identify that in themselves.
Wow, that's just amazing. That's mind-boggling, but so awesome. And that's another chapter I'd like to know about because I
Well, I'm going to probably write a whole nother book on
yeah,
my spinal cord injury.
that's just so I mean, wow, because people usually give up,
Right.
and
Mhm.
they give up when that kind of thing happens. And so I think there's nothing better than a living testament that we can heal and overcome.
Yes.
And then like for someone that's been through that, how breaking it down, how that happened, what kind of modalities, uh,
Yes.
and like you said, bridging, you know, regular medicine and then bridging
Mhm.
the spiritual aspect of it
Yeah.
and then bridging, the energy healing aspect of it because it's a whole, I think we have to think of things more holistically. It's a whole pie.
Yes.
Like if we only go get one slice of it, that's not the whole pie. And there's
Right.
so many things available to people.
There's a lot of pies. There's more than one pie.
Yeah, exactly. So this is just so beautiful. And I just love hearing that you're working with physicians too, and that, people are becoming more open-minded because this is the
Right.
future is really bridging the two and marrying them
Right.
together.
And if you're stuck, it's because you are stuck, and you are stuck there because you haven't opened or been able to identify what you need to move forward. So
Mhm,
sometimes we need a little intervention to help identify with that, but we also have to want to move forward.
mhm,
So if you want to move forward, you can. But
mhm.
I always say you have to look at the worst parts of yourself if you want to be better.
Oh my
You
gosh,
have to.
the shadow. The shadow
Yeah.
at work.
Yes. Yes. But they're worth looking at because the outcome is awesome.
I agree. Wow. Well, thank you so much for coming on today and just having a little chat here. I wanted to introduce you to everybody and also let people know about your chapter and your work, and now your new center, which is just incredible. The momentum that you're making, the work that you're doing, and the reminder that it is important to dream. It is important to dream
Yes,
to our future, because right now things are manifesting so much faster and it's possible. And you're living proof of that,
correct.
So that's what we want to remind everybody who's going to be reading this book, that it's important for you to dream into the future you do want, even though all this stuff is going on here. Keep focusing on what you do want. It is possible to anchor that into reality, just like Michelle did.
Yeah. Yes, yes. Always stay focused. And Rana, I do want to take the opportunity to thank you, because I know that the universe also grows and expands on gratitude. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be part of this book.
Oh, thank you so much. I really, really am so happy to meet you, to know you, and to also hopefully work with you on your many other book projects, because I know you have a lot coming forward, which
Yes.
I'm sharing with you guys, hopefully in the near future. So for now, have a beautiful day. Much love to you all, and remember to keep dreaming into the future. Blessings.